your image of British cuisine is a sturdy plate of fish and chips or a greasy fried breakfast, then prepare yourself for a shock, because a mini revolution is taking place in the British kitchens.
For many years, English cooking suffered from a bad reputation. It was frequently accused of being heavy and bland. Around 200 years ago, British cuisine was considered the best in the world. But by the 19th century, however, it became fashionable for the wealthy to employ French chefs, and British cooking fell into a decline. Local produce was neglected. Cooking skills curbed as convenience overtook technique, and the chips with everything mentality developed. Fast forward to the recent past, and the problem could boil down to believing that we, the British, can't cook. However, in the last few years, there has been a dramatic improvement. A series of high-profile, charismatic super chefs emerged and established their own highly regarded and fashionable restaurants. This inspired a wave of television cookery programs to reflect the trend. In addition, TV chefs inspired the British public by writing best-selling recipe books and producing a rich diet in British cuisine. Food shoppers are now choosing their groceries with more care than ever. Most supermarkets now clearly label their food with its points of origin, and there has been a surge of interest in organic foods and a revival in the popularity of locally grown produce sold through booming farmers' markets. This renaissance has led to a debate as to just what is British food. While all the old favourites remain, fish and chips, pies, bangers and mash, and the hot pot, but the number one dish around the UK is curry. We will be looking at curry houses in the coming weeks. Situated on Southend, Albert's Table is a traditional English serving cuisine restaurant.
I am now joined by Jane Rawlings, one half of Albert's Table. Jane, this is a beautiful space.
Thank you.
I love the idea that you come in and it's got this whole kind of Victorian look going on to it. The tables are there, which just takes that fussiness away from it. So when did you open the doors?
We opened at the end of July 2008, and so we've just celebrated our second birthday.
Happy birthday.
We're very happy that we've survived this long. Obviously just after we opened, we went into a recession, but we've been supported really well by local Croydon people who keep coming back and keep bringing their friends, so we're very happy to have marked our second birthday, and I think should be onwards and upwards from here.
Brilliant. When Eddie, our camera person, when we decided to do a review on Croydon restaurants, he counted 86 restaurants in the space of a 2-mile ratio. Why, or what made you decide to do a British cuisine-based restaurant?
We felt that although there are a lot of restaurants in Croydon, nobody was doing exactly what we're trying to do in this area, and I think if you ask people about British food, there is a bit of confusion. A lot of people think it's only really pub food, and we wanted to show that actually there's some fantastic British cooking, and that British ingredients are also incredibly good. We source all of our produce locally, and really we wanted to demonstrate that it is food that people enjoy cooking, and that despite having a lot of different restaurants, we can bring something very different and really add to the area in South Croydon, and hopefully help South Croydon become known for its good food.
Yeah, and so you talked about produce locally. Is there anything that is imported or exported, or is everything from Britain?
As much as we can, particularly with the main food groups. So our meat is generally from Kent or Surrey. Our vegetables are all very nearby. Obviously, there's a few specialist products like olive oil that we get from abroad. But even the fish is from the south coast of England, occasionally from Scotland, but it's all very much British. And our cheeses, again, cheese is often something that people feel is really the territory of the French, but there's more varieties of cheese in England, and there's some fantastic varieties, so we're really showing the best of what we have very close to home.
Yeah, the best of our British cuisine. Sadly, we don't produce much wine in Britain.
No, wine is the one area I've struggled with slightly. My view on things like wine is I don't want to put a wine on the wine list just because it's English. I want to put it on because it's as good as everything else and will stand up to it. And I've been in contact with suppliers from Kent actually who produce some very, very good English wine. It's just a question of they're not quite set up to distribute the amount we might need yet. But certainly as soon as I can, I'll be adding to the wine list.
What can diners expect on the menu? Because obviously I've had a quick glance at it and I didn't see any pies. I didn't see any fish and chips. I love fish and chips. And yeah, so we're high in British cuisine. What can they expect besides the steak and chips?
Well, I think one of the main things that sets our menu apart is that we are very seasonally based. So you will see what is available in Britain throughout the year at that time. So we're just moving off our summer menu into autumn, and that means it's game season. Yeah. So our meats will change from the lighter summer meats. We've had lamb on the menu a lot recently, and that will move over to. We have rabbit on the menu at the moment. That will be changing over to hare. Okay. Wood pigeon has been on the menu. We'll be moving on to pheasant because pheasant season starts towards the end of September. So you can expect to see things like that on the menu. And the great thing is, when we opened here, we weren't sure what the response would be like from the locals. We weren't sure how adventurous people were with food. But I think our pheasant dish has been one of the most popular dishes that we've had on the menu. And what we try to demonstrate is different ways of cooking it. So on one dish, you might have roast breast of pheasant with a comfrey spring roll with it, with a comfrey pheasant leg. So we are showing different ways to cook things that people may not have had before. And people have been very adventurous.
Well, thank you very much for inviting us and having us here today, Jen. Thank you. And my work is done, so cheers.